Imagine this, two countries are on the verge of the war, missiles are ready, markets are panicking, oil prices are also shooting up, and then nobody wins. Nobody loses. Both sides suddenly decide to negotiate, and the oil prices fall almost instantly. So here's the real question, why does the stock market celebrate when no one actually wins? Hi everyone, my name is Priyasha Das and welcome to News Decoded. Everywhere, every day we have some big headlines, and in this series we are finding out that powerful business strategy in that one big headline which is explained under 5 minutes, mark you. So let's quickly understand what happened. So over the past few weeks, tensions between the US and Iran has been increasing around the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil routes, and whenever global markets fear that this route would be disrupted, then one thing happens almost immediately, and that is the oil prices rise. But why? Because around one-fifth of the world's traded oil passes through this narrow passage. Now, here's the interesting part. Instead of continuing the military escalations, both the countries moved towards negotiations regarding Hormuz transit, and almost instantly the oil prices have started falling. At first glance, this looks like political news, but if you zoom out, you would actually see one of the best examples of game theory in action. This concept is called as Nash equilibrium, guys. Sounds complicated, but it's actually very simple. Imagine two people pulling a rope. Each thinks if I pull harder, I will win. But after some time, both realize the harder they pull, the more both of them fall. And at that moment, continuing the fight makes both worse off. And that's exactly what Nash equilibrium means, a situation where neither side benefits by changing its strategy alone. And in simple words, everyone reaches a point where, boss, let's stop here. Nobody is gaining anymore. And that equilibrium is called as Nash equilibrium. By the way, this idea becomes even more interesting if we combine it with another strategy concept called as the brinkmanship. So think of it like this, two cars are speeding directly towards each other, and each driver hopes that the other person turns first. That's brinkmanship. And you push the situation dangerously close to the disaster, hoping that the other side will give up. But there's one problem. If nobody turns, then both crash. And that's why, after enough escalation, leaders often choose a negotiation, because now suddenly they're not becoming friends or something, but because if they continue the conflict, they are going to become or get themselves into a situation which will be more expensive than stopping it. So as the Tatas say here, ego se profit nahi banta. So now here's why this matters, even if you do not care about international business. You will see Nash equilibrium almost everywhere. Imagine Zomato and Swiggy. If both of them keep giving massive discounts forever, both lose money, and eventually they reduce their discounts and settle into a balance. Or think about Apple and Samsung. They are also in the same state, because if they keep on launching new phones every month, that would increase their costs. Okay, and even the salary negotiations, business partnerships, pricing decisions, and the startup competitions, all of them are involving a position where they're trying to find a stable point where nobody benefits from making the first aggressive move, and that's game theory in life. Now imagine you're sitting in an MBA interview, and the interviewer asks you, what management lesson did you learn from today's news? So instead of simply explaining the conflict, you could say this, that the US Iran negotiations illustrate Nash equilibrium from the game theory. When continued escalation creates a negative payoff for all the stakeholders, rational decision makers shift towards a more stable equilibrium where cooperation delivers better long term outcomes than conflict. Trust me, that answer immediately shows strategic thinking. And that's exactly what people in the interview panel look for. So the next time you read a headline, don't just ask what happened, ask what business strategy is hidden behind it. Because current affairs don't just help you clear exams, they teach you how the real world makes decisions. If you enjoyed this episode, then hit that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves current affairs, business, or strategy. I am Priyasha Das, and this is News Decoded. I'll see you tomorrow with another headline and another hidden MBA lesson. Bye.